on, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to a Brass Ring Media Spotlight interview. Our guest today is the new TNA Digital Media Champion, AJ Francis. AJ, it is great to see you. Thanks for taking some time out to chat. You've had a busy week, my friend.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I've had a lot of stuff. After winning the digital media title, I had interviews and Q&As that I hosted for Booker T and Lita and Stratus and the Hardy Boys, and did a convention and done media with Kay Adams, and like it's been crazy, man. It's been cool though. It's been a lot of fun.
I bet, man. And this Friday in Chicago against all odds, you guys got a big weekend here in my city, in my backyard here, actually. So it'll be fun. Well, I'm excited to talk to you. And you mentioned
Wait, do you have an Orioles hat on?
I do, yes, sir.
Brown nosing is accepted, so I appreciate that.
Oh, good thing I checked. Good thing I checked ahead of time. You know what, man? It's fun. Like, it's been a while since like the Orioles have been, like
good,
a legit good team, and it's like watching. It's like baseball is so different to me now that they're actually good.
Yeah, like when last time they were good was like '98. They were good, and we were good for like a 2-3 year stretch in like 2010. But like we were like make the playoffs good. Like we're good enough to win the World Series. Like that is new in Baltimore.
Yes.
You know
well, and not only that, but it's like they're set up to be good for many years in a row.
People keep saying that, but we don't ever pay our guys, so it's like all our best guys. Gunnar Henderson is definitely going to go probably to the Yankees or somebody. Like we never. Manny Machado, perfect example. Like we don't pay our guys. Like, and it's okay. Like I understand it's a byproduct of being the Orioles. You got to win. Other teams find a way to do it, and like the Marlins and the Rays, like they find ways to win without having to pay guys and then getting rid of them before they have to pay them. Like we just got to figure it out.
They do, but is there a better logo than this one too? Like
no,
I just love that. I love it. Well, that's good. It's always good to meet another Orioles fan in the wild. So listen, baseball aside, because I could talk about Orioles baseball for a long time. You mentioned you've got all this stuff going. You've got different podcasts and you're hosting different interviews and you're the digital media champion and you're working for TNA and also, other promotions as well. Like, how do you, as a performer, as an artist, as, a champion now in TNA, I mean, how do you keep up, like energy? How do you keep up the character and your personality across all those different avenues that you attack on a week-to-week basis?
It's easy for me because I simply just show up and do me. Like I don't have to. Yesterday, someone came at a convention. I was like cutting a promo during a wrestling show. They just handed me a mic, and one of the young wrestlers came up to me and was like, "How did you get so comfortable being able to cut promos like that?" And I was like, "Bro, I was just born like this. Like I didn't like I." You can get better at promos, like you can work on it, but like I just am able to do things. Like there's not a lot of preparation that I have to go through in order to host a TV show or, host a podcast or do a Q&A or, like the only thing I prepare for really is my matches. Like those matches in the back, we got to prepare for those. But like short of that, like literally, like I'm just, even my promos that I do wrestling wise, like, or when first time they ever put me on commentary, like I didn't ask for that. They just was like, "Hey, go do commentary." And I got back, they were like, "That was your first time?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Wow, you could really do this." Or like, it's just, to me, I just have a lot of things come to me naturally, and I'm very blessed because of that. And so like when I show up, I'm ready to go.
Do you feel like it took a while to learn how to emphasize and accentuate your just you in like the confines of a pro wrestling promo, or like did you feel like it took time and practice and reps to get there, or did you always feel like you kind of had that even in your WWE?
I've always had it. Like a lack of opportunity is not the same thing as a lack of ability. Like when I first signed at WWE, it was the pandemic, And in the Performance Center, they had what was called Promo Madness. And what it was like a March Madness bracket style tournament that was a promo tournament for every single person in the Performance Center, from the NXT World Champion at the time, Karrion Kross, to Santos Escobar, Shotzi Blackheart. I mean, the list goes on and on. People who were in the PC at that time, everybody was in the promo tournament, and I beat all of them. I beat Santos, I beat Karrion, I beat Shotzi, I beat any and everybody that stepped up, because I'm the best promo in the world, and I have been for a very long time. And I had just joined I had just signed. So like that was another thing that probably gets you heat, brother, when you show up, just got signed and you're better than everybody at talking. That's not really something that people are happy about, right? So like, much respect to all those guys. I have a great relationship with Karrion and Santos and Shotzi. They're great. It's not like I'm saying their promos were trash. They weren't. I'm just the best promo in the world. And I will show that on any given time. There's a reason why whenever somebody like a Joe Hendry or an LA Knight, who's the baby face that everybody's supposed to get, that we're supposed to be getting over, right? There's a reason why they get to promo and I have to stand there and listen to them talk.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, but talk about that. Like, how does that work as, somebody who's on the other side, and in this case, you're the digital media champion now. Like, is it part of the game, like being in your role, like not just completely obliterating them on the microphone when you could? Is that like that's good business?
I mean,
right?
it is part of the game. It's part of the game, but like at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes the goal is not to obliterate somebody. But the thing is, the goal is not to obliterate the baby face on the mic with a promo, right? But there's times where they let the guys go toe to toe, right? Mm-hmm. It happens all the time with CM Punks and Cody Rhodes, and these guys were to go toe to toe, and we're gonna see who can really do it. And there's a reason why they never put me in those positions.
I love that, man. And so do you?
And if I'm wrong, if I'm lying and I'm wrong, anybody that thinks that I'm wrong, please tell me. Say something. Stand 6 feet away from me with a microphone and show me you're better.
There you go. The challenge been laid out there, folks. Mm-hmm. AJ Francis versus the world. Who do you? I mean, you've got a very unique promo style that's really effective. Mm-hmm. Where do you pull from? What sort of influences do you pull from, either in wrestling or outside of wrestling, or is it none at all?
I do a lot of there's one major one in wrestling, and then there's a bunch outside of wrestling. The major one in wrestling is Paul Heyman, and he knows that. Me and him talk about the promos that I do all the time, and I just sent him my promo that is the most watched video on TNA's Instagram right now in a long time, of me winning this title with BDE right there beside me. I sent that promo. He loved it. He loved the promo. He couldn't have been more praiseworthy for the promo that I sent him. We had a good conversation about it. Conan, very famous, well-known promo, loves my promos, right? He always gives me my flowers. Guys, the promo guys know that I'm the guy, right? So, like, I draw a lot of inspiration from Paul Heyman. Like, Paul Heyman comes out every time and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is," and everybody's Paul Heyman. He doesn't even have to finish it, like, because he's ingrained that in their mind. And if you listen to my promos, every single time I come out, I say, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is AJ Francis," right? So I say that every time. But the thing is, that's evidence of how the other thing that I really mix in a lot with outside the world of wrestling in my promos is hip hop. That's a line from Jay-Z. "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove." And actually, Jay-Z took it from Humpty, because in the Humpty Hump, he says, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Humpty," right? So like, I draw inspiration outside of hip hop all the time. When I wrestled under the name Frank, when I first got to WWE and when I was in independence before I got to WWE, I would finish every promo with the most shady Frankie Baby, which is a direct line from Biggie, right?
Hmm.
Like Biggie would always say the most shady Frankie Baby. So like I pay homage to hip hop all the time. I had a promo that I did with a guy named White Mike, who you might be familiar with, and we have a feud going on in North Carolina right now at AML Wrestling, and his name is White Mike. So I quoted Black Rob, and I was saying "whoa" the whole time in the promos, and I'm like "whoa," which is a Black Rob song, "whoa," right? So like I
Hmm.
draw inspiration from hip hop all the time, and then I structure my promos just like Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman doesn't cut promos; he tells stories. That's the difference between Paul Heyman and the rest of these guys. Is he don't just cut promos; he tells stories, right? So that's a big influence for me and what I do, and then obviously throw the hip hop flavor in there. I'm like Black Paul Heyman. That's the best way to describe it. So it's good to know.
There you go. All right, so you're the new TNA Digital Media Champion now. Talk to me just about that, about winning the title. What does it mean for you to hold a championship in TNA and that championship specifically?
It means everything to me to get the singles gold that I feel like I've earned and I've should have been had a long time ago, not just in TNA, just in general in wrestling. I've come up with some of the most creative things that have ever happened in wrestling, and nobody ever gives me my flowers for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, um, it's cool to be able to show like TNA actually believes in me. TNA understands what I'm doing and understands what I'm bringing to the table. Um, it's cool because the lineage of TNA goes back 20 plus years, and there's so many legends that have been in TNA, from Booker T to Sting to Kurt Angle to AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, like you know what I'm saying? Like so many legends have went through TNA, right? So it's like it's so cool to like be a part of that legacy. And then the title legacy, I mean, the first champ was Jordan Grace. I don't got what I got to say about that, right? And then like
Right, right.
Matt Cardona and Rich Swann and Tommy Dreamer, like like it's a crazy list of people. And unfortunately, Joe Hendry. Like it's a crazy list of people that have held this title, and I'm very grateful to be the next one.
Do you have any, kind of dream opponents in mind for that title when you look around the TNA locker room and,
Yeah.
you say to yourself, hey, I want to take this guy on. I want to take this guy on. Tell me a little bit about that list. Who's on it?
Well, we got Slammiversary in Montreal, so I would be remiss if I didn't say that I want to defend it against PCO, right? Like
Hmm.
PCO is known for being the crazy man, and I'm just as crazy. Like, if you've seen any of my matches on the independent scene, like, even if you go to watch the match I had with Alex Kane at MLW, like, I know
Mm-hmm.
how to get down, right? So, like, I'm excited. I'd be excited for that kind of opportunity versus PCO. Obviously, Moose, but it would have to be title for title. Moose is my guy, and he's got the world title, so that's a little bit bigger than the digital media title. Um, and then the likes of Chris Bay, Ace Austin, or even like legends like Frankie Kazarian, EY, Rhino, like what I'm saying, like there's Tommy Dreamer. We can run it back. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like there's a lot of people that I think would be really cool. Even like, let's be honest, the two people that need to be feuding over the digital media title in TNA are me and Joe Hendry.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've
Yep.
already been feuding over the digital media title without the title being involved.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the real answer, to be honest with you. But I don't know what the future holds with that. He did his little concert, and that was the last of that. And you know, that was a big moment for him. Anytime he talks about me, it's a big home moment for him. Not so much anything else he does, but whenever he gets a chance to talk about me, he makes waves.
Do you, now that you're spread your wings since leaving WWE, you have a TNA presence that very prominent now. You've spent time working for GCW, other indies, MLW. How, as a worker, as a pro wrestler, how do you like change and alter a style, or do you alter a style depending on what type of company you're in? Like, is TNA, does it differ working there than it does for a GCW or an MLW? Or are you able to kind of just walk in and be yourself? You kind of alluded to this before, but strictly with wrestling? Like, do you have to
Um,
change your game?
no, I don't really have to change my game anywhere because nobody works like me. Nobody wrestles like me. I'm not here for 12 counters into a move that nobody sells. You know what I'm saying? I'm a
Mm-hmm.
storyteller. I like to tell stories not just in the ring, but in the lead up to the match. If you want to look at the match I had with Alex Kane at MLW, like the King's Throne match, like very unique. I've only ever seen it done one other place. That's the idea. I stole it from Effie and Pero. Um, like, like I like we built the whole storyline around building to that match. That was my whole goal the entire time, right? So like I don't have to change my style because I'm a showman. I'm not if you want to see quick pace, incredible action with counters and high flying and all types of shit, Mike Bailey is on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Bailey's there. I'm never gonna out wrestle Mike Bailey. It's not gonna happen, right? It's just not gonna happen.
Sure.
I'm never gonna out wrestle Rich Swann. It's not gonna happen. But I can do a lot of things that they can't do too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yep.
I wrestle like me. I work like me. I work the crowd. I don't just go to the next spot because it's the next spot. I work the crowd. We'll get there when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like I work the crowd. I hit my big running knee. One thing I take pride in, and I've never said this in an interview, but it's just the truth. Go look at any match I have. When I'm putting heat on somebody, everybody knows what heat is, right? When I'm putting heat on somebody, the guy I'm putting heat on rarely ever bumps.
Hmm. Hmm.
He rarely ever
All right.
bumps. He goes in the corner. I give him a splash. He goes, sits down to his ass. I hit him with the running knee. He sells in the corner. I come in the ring. I choke him on the ropes. I glom him. He goes to the next corner. I whip him. He takes he takes a hard buckle. But like, pick you up, slam you. I don't do that, and I don't do that in my heat because I don't have to. I know how to work a crowd. I know how to save your body. I work for the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't.
Is that in your mind? Is that the art of the business?
Hundred
Like kind
percent.
of working that crowd more so than
Hundred
like,
percent.
okay, I'm gonna do this flip now.
100%. I mean, John Cena told me and Tootie Miles himself. He said, "Look, man. He said, look, them people bought a ticket. Interact with them. Like, I know you're supposed to work hard cam, and you can still work hard cam, but don't forget the people in the arena because the
Mm-hmm.
people in the arena are going to build to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Work the crowd because I'll give you a perfect example from yesterday. Like yesterday, I was doing the convention thing, and I came in and choke slammed the heel manager.
Mm-hmm.
Simon says, and then the crowd's like, one more time. But I know Simon doesn't want to take that bump, right? So like, I'm like, yo, they're saying one more time. He's like, no. I said, okay, I got you. I put him up on his knees, and I said, put your hand up. I go and hit the ropes, and I give him the big running knee and the crowd's like,
Yeah.
yeah, which really ain't shit. Like, I really didn't do anything, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
but it's way better than another big ass choke slam, right? So, like, but the crowd wanted more. Like, they wanted more. Like, it's not like they were like, they were quiet, then we could just went out, but they wanted more. But being able to, in the moment, decipher between what the crowd wants, what the crowd's asking for, and what you actually have planned and how much time you have, that's the art form. And getting the most out of it without making them bump super crazy. Like if you look at the digital media title match I had with Laredo Kid, he took one bump on the apron, which is just a belly back, boom on the apron. After that, he don't take another bump until he does his own front flip off the top rope to the outside. And then he takes my finish. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I like to take care of the guys, but it's also like if you watch that match, the crowd is super into it the entire time because I'm working the crowd. Like a body slam don't mean nothing if you don't make it mean something. It's just an extra bump for the boys. Like we don't need to do all that. This is just things that like that's the art.
Yeah.
The art form is being able to have a 10-minute match where both of you only bump 2 times. Like that's the art.
So this weekend, you guys are in Chicago. You've got Against All Odds, the pay-per-view on Friday night. when you work a TNA crowd, are you like when you're working them? What are some things that you look for from an audience? Like, is it just volume? Is it just them reacting the way that you want? Or are there other like kind of little nuances with the TNA audience specifically that you can look at and go, all right, well, I got to keep doing that. Or oh, I'm going to change. I'm going to do something else. Like, what are you looking for when you're trying to work the crowd the way that you do?
I listen, man. I just listen. I listen to what they're already saying. Like there's a lot of chance that as a heel, there's a lot of chance that people say against me that are supposed to piss me off, but in actuality, I'm like, thank God, right? So like,
Right.
if they start doing the Dollar Tree chant, like I'll look around, shut up. What do? Get louder, right? Like so,
Louder.
it's like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? It's like those kind of things, or like, you know, you know, like when I was working Joe Hendry, like in between every move, because I want them to chant, I'll give them a glom in the corner, boom, I don't believe in you. Because I know
Yep.
they're going to be
Yep.
like, we believe, right? So,
Yep.
like, I'll put them in the hole. These people don't believe in you, Joe. We believe. So it's like, it's being able to, it's knowing who your opponent is, knowing how the crowd's going to react.
It's so interesting, man. So the company TNA, now has working relationship.
Yeah, it's sorry, yeah, it's like knowing how to work the crowd, knowing what to play off the crowd, as well as like, especially at TNA, like there's so many characters in TNA that have their like own thing that they have. Like Sammy Callahan does the thumbs up thing, right? And then like Joe Hendry, obviously the We Believe. So it's like knowing who you're facing and what the audience knows about them, like Jake something, like like being able to play off that. Those things are big.
Very interesting. So TNA's got new working relationship with WWE. You obviously have experience there in NXT and on the main roster. How does the TNA locker room does expanding into that type of space and into that type of relationship, does it rally you guys? Does it make you guys like, oh man, this is great, like more eyes on the product, more time for us to do our thing, show the world who TNA is? Like, does this excite the locker room?
Absolutely. Like everybody's chomping at the bit for their opportunity to do something
Mm-hmm.
with NXT or people from NXT in TNA. Like
Yeah.
I want to go to NXT. I think it'll be hilarious for me to walk into NXT as a guy who, when he was in WWE, never really got the opportunities he deserved, and come back as a champion and be like, hey, look what
Yep.
happens when you actually let me do me. Right.
Yep.
And then also selfishly, it's not selfishly, but personally, I would train in the PC all the time. Right. So like there's a lot of guys that are just guys and girls, from Kaylani to Lola Vice to Obafemi, guys that I've trained with and helped them find themselves. You know what I'm saying? Trick Williams, you know what I'm saying? That like are now at the forefront of NXT, right? That we already have in ring chemistry. We've already done a lot of cool things together. So like it'd be cool to do it on a bigger stage. Lola Vice used to kick the shit out of me when sometimes I would think that she thought she was still doing MMA. I'm like, oh, I had to like grab her, like, hey, relax, and throw you in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'll kick and punch the shit out of me. Like she used to do it all the time. And that's why that back fist, that backhand fist, she be knocking people out. And that shit is for real. She be hitting the hell out of people.
Oh man. Well, that's great, man. Well, listen, once again, against all odds, Friday in Chicago, a big weekend, and that's the starting of a big summer tour for TNA. And AJ, you're the TNA Digital Media Champion. It's been wonderful to talk to you. Thanks so much for the transparency on your answers. And listen, I hope we can do it really, really soon. Do it again.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you.